I'm not a farmer. I just play one on YouTube. Alrighty. They're down. So we got from this tree to behind the excavator all cleared out. So there's no way we can't not fit through with the spray rig and the planters and any fitting equipment. But well, this has to be fitted if it's going to be edible beans. I'm not sure how that's going to work out, planting edible beans in July. But that is supposedly the plan. We're all signed up, got the contract. So I don't know what happens if they decide not to have us plant them. I don't know. So old Lair's cutting down there, limbing the root balls and the limbs off. He just got here. I got all kinds of stuff on the ground here now, so I'm gonna scoot out of here. And Dad wanted me to change the oil in his truck, so I'll go see if he's got the oil and filter for that. And there's a couple other small things that needed to be done, but there's a lot of trees on the ground now, so I don't think I'll hold off on pulling any more of them down. So, well, it's windy again. I'll tell you, one thing's for sure, it just seems like it's windy all the time. I still have the air compressor on the back from when I went and got those tractors, so I can take that off. I don't need that. But at least it's warm, and it's not cold and windy. It's warm and windy. Kids named one of our pigs Windy once. Mindy and Windy. When we had some pigs, boy, that was a while ago. We had 3 pigs. I think it was Windy, and Mindy. I bet there's some old video of them. That's a long time ago now. Whew. So, I found something to do. Rick took off with the big truck to go get the fertilizer. We're going to go ahead and we already went ahead and got the tractor hooked to the fertilizer spreader. So now I have to come back here, and earlier in the year Rick put some new bearings on this thing, and notice this. Get you spun around. Up in here, right in there, is no longer connected. So Dad borrowed the spreader and just one load of potash. We got to get our starter fertilizer. So we're going to get our starter fertilizer on. So Rick went to get that. So I'm going to take this needle gizmo and make a bunch of noise banging rust off. That is what we're using. And this thing here, you put it on the metal. And it'll descale it. It's a descaler. I don't have enough hose here. We did it. So I'll give you a peek at that. These things aren't the greatest, but they're better than nothing. The other day I used the blast tank. Blew my eardrum. I didn't blow the eardrum, but boy, I thought I did. I'm getting old. I'm getting wore out. this is what it, when we're done, you see the shiny spot there. Apparently it's not gonna, there it is, zoom in, right there is where it was cracked. So now, could have been a little bit cleaner on the top, unfortunately. With the air hose and with the way that, so you can see what I'm doing, it's hard to get the top of, you know, to get it to bang straight, so I'm on an angle, and but we'll wheel that welder a little bit closer, whatever that is, leaning on the welder. So I either have to clean everything up and back the welder, I could back the wagon closer, I guess, but with this trailer still in here. Alright, this lead is not the greatest. But, hey, look at that. It's another one of those bugs. Check what it was. He said stink bug, but that ain't no stink bug. See? Looks different than a stink bug to me. So, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can tack it a little bit. I think there's enough shiny metal there to, he says he's going to build it all out of stainless anyway, so it's only got to hold for, see, this is the issue. So we just have to stop it from doing that. This is like taking a salt bath. So anyway, we'll go ahead and tacky. Ooh, it's windy. Well, it's tacked. Maybe if I set you guys here. Oh, zooming in doesn't work. Huh. It's a waterproof case on that phone, so I wonder if it's a potash proof. Gee whiz. Oh, it's just that windy. It sounds like there's gas coming out, but man. And I know it's not a very clean surface up there, so. I think it'll hold. I guess. It is pretty rusty stuff right there, man. We're welding on rust. Alrighty, bird turded together. It's called the farmer weld. That'll hold. So, that'll do it. And now this spinner won't wobble back and forth. These spinners look like they've seen better days. But, so the spinner won't wobble back and forth. So, I don't have a ride back from the field, or I could bring it to the field, and then he can bring the truck right to the field. But I don't have a ride back. Aw, I'm not sure what to do. Well, I wasn't walking, so I went and got the boy. And we got a battery put in that tractor. This is going to be what we run the auger with, because it's just an old beater farm tractor that it'll be all right. But we're going to make sure there's some fuel in it, because I know it takes fuel to run these things. And after it sat around all winter, who knows how much is in it. So we're going to do that, and then we'll run it over to the field. They can run the auger, and then we'll get the tractor over there. Put your foot on the brake, you're rolling back. And now we're hooked on. We're just going up around the corner here. And then we'll go get the other tractor. And everything is here except for the truck. We got the grease gun to grease the universal joints on that auger, because they haven't been greased. Upsy daisy. So we'll have a spreader load here in no time. We're flowing now, Berber. Here we go. Pretty uneventful. First load's off. We're really close on our guess for weight, and there's no auto steer or any of that fancy stuff on here. I contend that Rick and I are still farming. We're not doing agribusiness. We still have guess rows. We farm. You do things to the best of your knowledge that you gained over time. Years ago, people farmed. They knew the land. They didn't need computers to guess the land for them, or to know the land, or to do the land. Quite frankly, farmers today, they're not really farming. The computer's farming. They do the mapping, and they do the soil testing, and they have variable rate fertilizer, and so you're not farming. The computer does the farming. And I've seen it before, where the big farm up the road has got a 30-foot skip because the computer goofed and section control shut off half of his rows. So he didn't know it at the time, because the computer didn't realize, well, the computer didn't alert him to it, because the computer thought it was doing it right. So if the computer thinks it's doing it right, it's not going to alarm. That's how that works. If you have a bad oil sensor and it thinks that you have good oil pressure, but you don't have any, well, the computer's not going to sound, because it thinks it has it. So anyway, that's just my personal opinion on farming. I just feel like farming has gone away and agribusiness has picked up and has taken over, and that's fine. Certainly you can maximize the land when you know exactly how much phosphorus and potash, and you're never going to under or overdo it, which that's a good thing. And for the bottom line, it's a must. So I understand it, but I just miss the old days, I guess. Babysit the computer. Heck, man, you can't even round bale without a computer anymore. Really? You can't roll up some hay and put some string on it without a computer? I mean, look at this thing. Just to do some round baling. Whatever. It's an ever-evolving world. So far, things have been pretty dry, but that field through the hedgerow there, you see the driveway here, well, there was standing water up in there. It always amazes me because there's a creek down in here. You'd think the water would come down easy enough, but anyway, did see a little bit of water, but other than that, we're still pretty dry for being April. Early April, really. I don't know what today's date is, but 10th, 11th, I mean, mid-May, mid-April. Either way, things are pretty dry. This field, we've seen this field be really wet, especially down in here, but looks like we're going to do just fine today without leaving much in the way of marks, which is good since we primarily no-till. He is going to kind of stir this up, but that machine isn't real aggressive. It just it's just wavy coulters, so it'll just help loosen up the ground. It'll dry it out some, work in the soil or the fertilizer some. This field it'll help dry it out, and then it opens it up so it'll warm up the soil as well. For anyone who cares, this chain comes out here, the product falls on this little splitter plate, and these two things spin to throw the fertilizer out. Well, this will be the last load. It stopped raining, so we'll get this last spreader load out of the truck. Get it spread. And then the corn ground will be done. And that's it. Bingo boing. Well, it's back to regular New York weather, gloom and bleh.